Hi, in this video, we will be looking at string programs. We will look at three programs specifically, which are from past board papers or specimen paper. The first program that we are going to have a look at is write a program in Java to accept a string in lowercase, okay, and change the first letter of every word to uppercase. And then we have to display the new string. So they've given us a sample input. The input is we are in the cyber world, all lowercase. And then what we are doing is we are changing it only the first letter of every word to uppercase. Okay, so let's get coding. And the code for all the three programs which we are discussing here will be available at a link mentioned in the description. So you can click on that link and copy the code. So let's start the first program. So I'll say new class and I'll just call it P1 for now. Okay, so I've made a new class called P1. I'm just going to delete whatever is existing. What we have to do first, we have to accept a string for which we need the scanner class. So I'm going to import java.util.scanner. Okay, start the class. Class name is P1. Okay, we cannot write any program without having a method in Java. So we have to make some method. So I'll just call it public static void change. Okay, and starts. Firstly, what we have to do in any program, if we have to accept input, we have to make a scanner class object. So I'll say scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in. Fine. And then we have to tell the user that please enter a string. So we say system.out.println and we ask the user enter a sentence. Fine. So to accept the sentence, which will be a string, we will make a variable string s is equal to sc dot next. We have to accept a sentence. So remember the method in scanner class is next line, ls uppercase. Fine. So this is how we will accept a string. Now what do we have to do also is we have to make a new string. So initially we will call our new str, okay, is equal to blank. Okay. Anytime they ask you to find the count, so you have to make a variable called count, which is equal to 0 first. If they ask you product, you have to make a variable called product, which is equal to 1 first. So they've asked us to make a new string. So we will make a new string and keep it as blank in the beginning. Okay. Now, first thing they have said, the string should be all in lowercase. The existing string should all be in lowercase. So what we will do is we will say s is equal to scs dot to lowercase. Fine. There's a method in the string class. If you've had a look at the video in part 2, string methods part 2, there is a method to lowercase. And the method names always start with a lowercase letter, t is small, and each word is in capital. Okay. So this is the method. So this will convert our string to a lowercase first. Okay. Now we have to decide the logic. How are we going to find out that this is the first letter of a word? The way we do it in this Java programs is if there is a space and then there is a letter, we assume that that letter is the first letter of the word. Okay. So if there's a space before W over here, and then we look at W, we will say, okay, W is the first letter. Before ARE, there is a space, so A will become capital. Before I, there is a space, so I will become capital. Now, this will work for all the words, but what happens is, before W, there will be no space, right? When the user enters a string, there will be no space. Sometimes it is always better to also do S is equal to S dot trim. Okay, what does the trim method do? Again, it's there in video 2. It will remove all leading and trailing spaces. So we know there was no space before W and there's no space after the word D also. Now, we want a space before the first word as well. So what we are going to do is we'll say S is equal to, okay, we'll add a space plus S. Okay, some programs we have to add a space in the end. Some programs we have to add a space at the beginning. In this one, is it clear why we are adding the space in the beginning? Because we want this W also to be identified as the first letter of the word. Okay. This is the prep done. Fine. Then in any string program, there is a for loop for int I is equal to first index in the string is also 0. I should be less than the string dot length, and here length is a method. So there will be open and close brackets I plus plus. Fine. This is how we will write the for loop in most of the string programs. What do we want to do? We want to examine each character. We want to find out a space. And if there is a space, the next character, we want to turn it to uppercase. So what we do first is we extract that char. We say char ch is equal to s dot char at I. Fine. What does the char at method return? It will return what character is present at that particular index, and that will go in ch. So if ch is equal to space, then what we need to do is we have to do new string is equal to new string plus we have to add that space. This new sentence also has the space, so we will add the space. Then what we will add? Then we will add whatever is the next character after that. Okay, so whatever is the next character after that. What is the next character after that? It is s dot char at I plus 1. Correct? At this position, index 0, one particular character is present. If that character is a space, I will add the space to the new string. But whatever is after the space, that means s dot char at I plus 1, I have to add that to the new string. Do I have to add it as it is or I have to change it to uppercase? I need to change it to uppercase. So what I'll do is I'll write here character dot to uppercase. This is a method in the wrapper class which can convert one given character to uppercase. Fine. So this is how I will add the space and I will add the character following it. Since I've already taken care of one character, we will do I plus plus over here. If the character is not a space, so imagine if we were at this E, then what we have to do? We have to just add the character as it is to the new string. So we'll say new string is equal to new string plus that ch. Fine. So this completes the if else, complete the loop. Because our new string will be made only at the end of the loop. After the entire loop is finished, a new string is made. So we will output the new string. Plus new str is the variable, so that will not come in quotes. And that completes the method and that completes the class. Fine, so let's just compile and the class has compiled, no syntax errors. Let us now run this program, right click, and since it is a static method, it is available on the class. So we can directly click void change here. And it is asking us to enter the input. So let us do we are in cyber world. And you can see the output is all the first letters are capital. We are in cyber world. Okay, so that completes program 1. Moving on to program 2. This is also from one of the past board papers, which says write a program to accept a string, convert the string to uppercase first, and then count and output the number of double letter sequences that exist. So now, in this case, they are not asking us to check only one character. They are asking us to check the character and the character next to it. Two characters are being checked at the same time. Okay, and then it is asking us to do a count of such letters that if this character E and the next character E are the same, okay, then increase the count. Fine, so let's start with this program. Make a new class, P2. Okay, so the class is there. Let's delete whatever is there. We need to take the string as an input. So I will do an import java.util.scanner. Make the class P2, curly braces, has to be in a method. So we write public static void so that we can directly run it. Static void count. Okay, count doubles. We'll just call it count double, open bracket, close bracket. First thing, to accept input, we need to make a scanner class object. Scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in. Fine. Then we need to tell the user to enter a string or a sentence. We will say enter a sentence. Perfect. Once you have told the user enter a sentence, we need to accept that. So we say string s is equal to sc dot next line. For a sentence, it is always next line. Okay. We need to count something. Whenever we need to count, what do we have to do? We have to make a variable, integer variable count, and the initial value we give is 0. And then as soon as we find one, we'll go on increasing it by 1. Okay, so my setup is ready. First thing they have asked us to do is convert the string into uppercase letters. So we have to convert that same string to uppercase letters. So the method in the string class to do that is s dot to uppercase. Okay, this will convert the string, but it will always return us a new string. Original s does not change. If you want to change the original s, we have to do s is equal to s dot to uppercase. So that means now s will have the uppercase sentence. Same thing, whatever has been entered. Okay. Next thing, what we are doing, we have to compare characters. That means we have to make a pass through the entire string. Whenever we have to do something repeatedly, we use a loop. In string, because we know how many comparisons to make, we use a for loop. For loop is used when we know the number of iterations we have to make. So the for loop will be int I, first index is 0. I should be less than s dot length. Okay, for now I'll keep it as s dot length, and then I'll tell you that a change we have to make I plus plus. Okay, what do we do first? We extract a character, char ch is equal to s dot char at I. Do we need to just extract one character, or every time we are passing through, we need to compare it with the character next to it also? So what we have to do in this case is we have to extract two characters. One is char at I and one is char at I plus 1. Okay, so in the first instance, it will give me I is 0. It will extract S and H. Okay, next time it will give me H and E. So now, anytime in your for loop, you are extracting something as I plus 1. That means when you reach the end here at E, it will try to extract something beyond E. And that will raise an index out of bound exception. Okay, so anytime in your for loop, you have an I plus 1. Remember that your for loop condition should be s dot length minus 1. Okay, so that means you only go up to the L. When you extract the L, you will also extract the E. Okay, so do note of these minor things so that your program is perfect and you get full 15 marks for this. So you have char ch is equal to this and char ch1 is this. Now what do we have to check? If ch is equal to ch1, if they both are the same, that is what we have to check. They can give you anything. Okay, comparing two characters which comes before the other and so on. So if here they want, are they both the same? If ch is equal to ch1, then what we have to do? We have to just do count plus plus. That yes, we found a matching and this is the thing. Can I display the count now? Or will the final count be available after I've done the whole loop? Final count will be available after I've finished the entire loop. Okay, so we close the loop and then we do our output. So we say system.out.println count of double letter sequence is equal to plus the variable count. And that completes the method and that completes the program. So let's compile the class. Class has been compiled, no syntax errors. So let us just run this. We'll say run the method void count double. Just clear the screen. So let us enter the sentence. What they're saying, she was feeding the little rabbit with an apple. Okay, you can see the sentences there and count of double letter sequences 4 as it was asked in this particular program. Moving on to the last program in this particular video. So looking at program example 3, it is saying there are special words, are words which start and end with the same letter. So for example, existence, the letter at index 0 is the same as the letter at the last index. Fine. Same for comic and same for window. And then there are palindromes. What are palindromes? Palindromes are words which read the same left to right or right to left. Okay. You can see the example, Malayalam. If I read it backwards also, it is going to give me the same thing. Malayalam, madam, same thing, start and end. Fine. So now in this program, they want us to find out whether words are special words, whether they are palindromes, or whether they are both or none of. Okay, fine. So now in this case, we have to just accept a word and not a sentence and then do some checks on it. The first thing, what we'll do is make a new class, P3. Open the class. First, what we do, we import, import java.util.scanner. Okay, make the class P3. Always make a method. You cannot start writing code directly. You can only declare instance variables outside of the method. Okay, so I'll say public static void check. Fine. It's checking certain things. I'll just call the method as check. First thing, make a scanner class object. Okay, then ask the user to enter a word. Fine. Since the user has entered a word, we take that. So we say string w is equal to sc dot next. Now we will not use next line because we don't want a complete sentence. We only want a word. Okay. What two things we have to decide? We have to decide two things, whether it is a palindrome. And the second thing that we have to decide is whether it is a special word or not. Okay. So let us make two Boolean flags. So we say Boolean is special is equal to false first. And we make one more Boolean is palindrome is equal to false. Okay, because we have to decide those two things, you have to always make the variables. You have to decide the data type. Now we are just deciding true or false. Is it or not? Okay, if it is count, it is an integer variable. Perfect. Now, for the first thing to decide if something is special, what do we need? We need the first character and the last character. Okay, so I'm first going to decide if the word is a special word. Fine. How we do that? Character at the first thing. So I'll extract character. First character is equal to, what will it be? W dot char at 0. Do we agree? If we enter existence and I say char at 0, it will give me the letter E. I want the last character as well. So I say char is equal to W dot char at. Now, how do we decide the last? Do we know, like it's changing? It's not always going to be existence, right? So the index of a string is always from 0 to length of string minus 1, right? In comic, C is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last C is present at index 4, which is the length of that string minus 1. So how will we say last character is going to be W dot length, which is a method, minus 1. This will give me the last character. When is it special? If FC, if the first character is equal to the last character, correct? Then we will say is special is equal to true. That's it. Because there's only one statement. I have not put the curly brackets, but it is a good practice that you indent it a little even when writing it in the exam. Okay. Perfect. Now, how do we decide the palindrome? We can decide a palindrome that if we read the string in the forward direction and then we read the string in the backward direction, they both should be the same. So in this case, what we have to do is we have to make a new string, which is the reverse of the existing string. So I'll say string reverse is equal to blank initial. Okay. How will we make a reverse string? Okay. We will read the string backwards. So we'll say for int I is equal to, we will not start with index 0. We can start with the last index. What is the last index? We just saw it, W dot length minus 1. Okay, so we are going to start with the last index. So in case of Malayalam, it will be pointing here at this particular M. Till where we have to go? Till index 0. Okay, so we say greater than equal to 0 in this case. This is a reverse loop of the string. We are starting with the last index and we are going to go up to index 0. And it's a reverse index. We have to do a decrementing. I will go on decrement. Okay, what do we do in this string? We say reverse. We are going on adding to reverse. Okay, initially reverse is blank. You can say plus equal to. Take that last character, add it. What will we say? W dot char at I. That is all we have to do to make a reverse string. We loop through the string in the reverse direction. That means we start with the last index, go up to the first index, and go on adding that character to reverse. Fine. How do we now decide whether it is a palindrome or not? If the original word W is equal to the reverse string. Now we are doing a string comparison. So remember that. basic things. So we say if W dot equals REV. Okay, we cannot use double equal to for doing string comparisons. We are saying if W dot equals REV, then it's only one sentence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say is palen is equal to true. Fine, Boolean. That means I don't need to put double quotes or anything. And it is lowercase. False and true, you have to write with lowercase f and t. Right. Now we have to decide whether what is it. Right? So we'll say here, if is special, I can write if is special equal to true. That will also turn out to be true. Or I can just write if is special and is palen. Okay. So we are checking if is special is true and if is palen is true, what will be output? We will say system.out.println. We will say W, the string which is given to us, is special and palen. Okay, this is how we will output. Else, we will check. Else if. Okay, else if means when this both are not true, only then it will come here. So I'll now check. Is it only special? If it is special, then what will we do? We'll copy this and we will say W is special. We'll not say it is a palindrome. Third thing what we check, else if only is palen is true. Fine. Then we will say is palindrome. Otherwise, if it does not go in any of these, then what we say, W is neither special nor palindrome. Okay, so first we are checking, are both of them true? Then we give this. Okay. If one of them is false, it will come here. Otherwise, it will not come here. Else if means if only if the first one turns out to be false, this will be checked. And so on. Okay. This is going to be the output of the program that completes the method and that completes the class. Compile the class and no compilation errors. Let us now run this method. So the method is void check. Okay. And it is asking us to enter a word. So let's enter the word madam. So you can see madam is special and palindrome. Why? Because it starts and ends with the same letter, which we have checked. And also if we read it backwards, it is the same. Now if I run this once more and we put the word window, you can see window is special, but not a palindrome. It is telling us that first letter and last letter are same, but the string backwards is not the same as the string forward. Okay, so I hope that explains these three programs. That's it for now. Happy learning.